light here?
Yeah, I've got the light.
Okay.
You just move back a little. Put that in your pocket.
Yeah, don't worry. I hold it. Don't worry.
So, quick conversation.
About Ralph.
Not really about Ralph. Ralph's kind of insignificant. in all
Hell
this.
Ralph,
Oh, hell, Ralph.
like he always says.
Oh, do you mind? You might just go back. You don't want my nose.
Yeah.
Scary,
Is that about it, Raj?
Scary enough as it is, you don't need like 3D.
What's wrong with him?
So I'm going to read out the actual definition of civic nationalism so people can understand, rather than my interpretation of it, because I think that's important. Don't worry, we'll keep it short.
Let me know when it's 5:30.
You've got ages, man. It's 30 minutes. It's only 5
20
o'clock.
minutes.
No, I got my watch always 15 minutes forward. Oh my, all right, 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes is fine. What are you doing, Rizzo?
Trying to get the adapter.
Oh yeah. You know, last time I had this year. Oh, that thing looks like a bomb, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Whenever I'm on the train, I look like I'm about to freaking. Everyone's like terrified. I'm like, dude, I am here to save the UK. Don't worry about me. What do I need this here? Can I need this coming? East London.
Yeah, the mic. It should be.
Okay. Started.
I'm getting it.
Double check.
Do we start?
No, I'm getting there.
Oh, call yourself a professional.
I'm controlling 3 cameras today.
Where is Leon today?
Leon's just coming back. Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay, so I don't know if you want to introduce yourself, because I'm not really spoken to you.
So I'm Sam. I've been at Speaker's Corner for about almost 2 years now.
All right, similar time as me. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about something that's kind of a hot topic now within, let's say, the right, which is the notion of civic nationalism and ethno-nationalism. Now, ethno-nationalism, I think it's pretty simple, which is that you believe, you know, some of the ethno-nationalists believe that the majority, I'm assuming maybe like 90-95% at the minimum, should be of a particular stock of people. So in England, we're talking about the English. In India, there are ethno-nationalists in India. I believe that Indians to be the majority. China, all over the world. It's not just a white phenomenon. It is every country, if you really look at it, is ethno-nationalist to a degree. Now, in the UK, we obviously have a population now, I think it's around 15%, which is going to be from an immigrant background. So, you know, obviously, as you can see by myself, my forefathers were not here. My mum was, you know, obviously the first generation that come down. So I've been here, you know, for a short period of time. My family are from the Punjab. Big up to the Punjab. We run to.
Big up to the Punjab.
Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, I'm going to read out if you want to give your definition of ethno-nationalism in your view, but civic nationalism, yeah, in terms of the Wikipedia, is this. Yeah, so I'm a civic nationalist. So civic nationalism, also known as liberal nationalism, is a form of nationalism that identified by political philosophers who believe in an inclusive form of nationalism that adheres to traditional liberal values of freedom, tolerance, equality, and individual rights. So you can be from any background if you kind of like align with those particular thought processes.
So if you align with the sort of the culture and values of the country, it doesn't
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was, you know, I'd probably place myself there because, you know, I grew up near to Leicester.
All right. My family is that.
Yeah, so Leicester was the first place in the UK for the ethnic minority population to tip over 50%.
Oh, is it over 50?
So it tipped over 51% in 2006.
There's a lot of Hindus and Sikhs in this.
And, you know, for me, Leicester was a very good example of, I guess, civic nationalism. You've got Hindus, Sikhs, you know, white British people who are living together, sharing, broadly speaking, the same sort of values, although there are differences in faith from Christianity, Hinduism, you know, Sikhism, whatever it may be. Broadly speaking, there weren't any clashes between those community groups. Everybody went to school together, themselves, they've gone on, crime wasn't a problem. I think what we're seeing now is that people are being labelled ethno-nationalists, particularly I would be labelled an ethno-nationalist by some living in London, because I think being
Sorry about that.
if you're white British, then you're in the you're in the minority now. You're 45%.
Sorry, right.
And I personally, I don't think that that's acceptable for a capital city to have 45% of their population white British, and then for people to use the term black and minority ethnic when black and minority is the majority of it.
I mean, I'll give you my standpoint. And obviously, people like, I won't say their names, say I'm a, sellout, that I'm a coconut. Now, for me, if you look around the world, every country that I mean, if you look at India, let's just give India as an example, because my family are from India. Down to India, I'm a Punjabi, big up to Pakistan, separate state for the Sikhs. Now, if I was to go to the Punjab, and all of a sudden, the culture that, I think is a beautiful culture in there, which makes us who we are, even in the UK, if I went there and all of a sudden the population changed from the majority being Sikh Punjabi to now being Chinese, being 50%, I'm not going to hate the Chinese, but I will hate the Chinese. Because the Chinese will have a different mindset unless they, what you call, kind of take on the kind of culture wholeheartedly of the state, of the majority. And I do believe myself personally, and like I am in, look, big up to Richard Inman, yeah? I didn't want to say his name, but Richard Inman and Tommy Robinson and like, are now in a situation where they're at loggerheads with an individual called Mark Collette. And Mark Collette is somebody that...
He went to my grammar school.
Yeah, and you're closely associated with Ralph, who I call Chawala. Chawala means you serve tea in India. And he is associated with him. So when I was talking to you, you seem like a reasonable guy. But your association with Ralph, and it's not me calling you out, because I've associated with people that other people might deem to be unacceptable. But the split that's happening within the Tommy Robinson movement, as you say, and the right, which is the Tommy Robinson movement, and the far right, which is actually, and the far right, which is actually Mark Collette, and you're looking at Ralph Pesh, the darkest white nationalist known for mankind. And to me, it's kind of like quite disturbing how people are being switched over from civic nationalism to ethno-nationalism by this argument about becoming a minority. Because I truly believe that the host nation of any nation should be allowed to stay the majority. I believe that. So if I'm in India, you shouldn't let the population of an incoming group go above 30%. Maximum.
How do you stop it?
Yeah, I mean, that's a different topic. Same with the UK. I don't believe that if you're here, I don't believe that the population should exceed the indigenous population. That's not racist. That's just common sense. Every other country does that. Now,
people always talk about, refer to as far right or right wing or whatever, all right. Really, it's just conservatism. If you want to conserve the state, I'd say for people who casting are racist.
But you can see how the Mark Collette movement, and I'll say Mark Collette.
Not very good communicator.
No, Mark Collette is a very good communicator. That's why he's so dangerous, because he's been able to get people that I would consider to be civic nationalists quite easily over to ethno-nationalism by the argument that, he wants to preserve the country as a majority white nation. Now, he has said he will deport people.
So this is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about his ability to sort of convert people to his movement. I'm talking about outside of Britain. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think with Anne-Marie
Britain first.
Britain first.
Anyway, outside that movement, him trying to convey his message to the general public is not very communicated. He talks about deportation, whereas he should be talking about controlled migration.
Immigration.
Yeah, controlled immigration. That's a better way of putting it. If you say deportation, you immediately just come across as
I do want to deport some people though. A couple of people need to be deported. I won't say their names, but let's just say one of them's in prison. So deportation is a good thing for people that are very unproductive or dangerous to the society. If they have a host nation that they migrated from, and now they're here and they want to kill people, get rid of them. If that's what the reason they're here for. Now the issue I'm having is that, people are kind of like drifting over to this Mark Collette ethno-nationalism as a, and kind of like even people like Ralph, and I'm going to say Ralph because for him to be associated with Mark, because he said on one of his streams that he's taken down, how Mark Collette. Now we have a Jewish guy here. I don't know if he wants to join, but Mark Collette is a very, very anti-Semitic, racist, and for somebody like Charwala or Ralpish, who said he's a Zionist, to now side with Mark Collette, who blames the Jews for everything, is kind of strange for me. You understand? It doesn't make sense.
What he said specifically was anti-Semitism, talking about the state of Israel being influential power in media and politics.
Well, I mean, Mark Collette, I don't know if Joseph wants to join the conversation about Mark Collette. So we're talking about ethno-nationalism and civic nationalism, and I'm talking about the Tommy Robinson movement and how it's fracturing along the lines of civic nationalism and ethno-nationalism, and someone like Mark Collette is playing on this kind of great white replacement. And if you look at his rhetoric, he's actually blaming the Jews for the white replacement.
I mean, Mark Collette is not an ethno-nationalist, he's a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, neo-Nazi.
And so on ethno-nationalism you have a spectrum, and he's as far right as you could possibly get. So civic nationalism is good in my eyes. Ethno-nationalism can create problems.
I mean, up to a degree. I mean, I was saying earlier that I do believe each state has a right to keep the majority of the population, around maybe 70% of the indigenous population. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
Why 70? Why not 95 or 51?
Well, that's unrealistic now. I'm talking about the maximum. I'm not saying that's not
I'm
ideal.
just saying why that number.
Well, the thing is, we're at 15% now. So we're at 15% now.
Where do you draw the line? So on what side of the line is mixed race?
Well, I mean, look.
Or quarter race?
I'm talking about immigrants coming in.
So let's play
not
that.
the people in
So
the.
it's got nothing to do with race.
Let's play your 70-30 ratio, right? And let's say migrant communities, say Islamic, Jewish, actually have higher birth rates than the indigenous
Which is
population.
true.
What happens to your 70-30 ratio there?
Yeah, I mean, I need to think of it.
Do we need sterilisation?
No. I'm not a eugenicist. I'm just looking at. I'll be honest with you. What I've done is that I've superimposed like my thought process of the Punjab and how I would want that to stay, and try to use that because I'm trying to empathise with the people of the UK. So the only way I can really do that, although I'm British, I do have another background. I try to think if I went to the Punjab, where my people are from, how much would I accept as an incoming group? And I thought the maximum, it's not the ideal, the maximum of because you're still over the majority.
It's interesting you talk about the birth rate.
But why? Why do you think?
Don't worry.
Why do you think a majority of a particular group isn't necessarily a good thing? What do you think they all think the same, or
Because they come from the same culture and they believe in preserving.
which culture?
There's culture, not
There's not.
race.
Culture is different.
There's not cultural diversity in this country.
Well, look, whether you like it or not, people are very tribalistic. And people like to
Some
be
more
open.
than others.
Look, you can just see the way immigrants come into different countries and how they go to certain groups and they stay within those areas. And it's not because they hate another group. People are more comfortable with people that are similar to them. The more similar you are, the
but
more
that's when they
comfortable
first
you are.
arrive.
When they first arrive,
Generations down the road.
What happens 2 or 3 generations in? They start marrying out of the community. Look at the West Indian community. Over 50% of West Indian men are married as non-West
Yeah, I mean,
Indian
It
partners.
depends if you tie religion into that. Religion and other cultural ideas will limit that. So Jewish community has lived separate. As a Jew, retain their identity and their ethnicity while living in host nations where they are a minority. I think Islam is the same. Muslims have a very low marrying out rate, like similar to Jews. Catholics high.
I mean, I have to admit that I have in my own family, I have 2 white people in the family and 1 black person that's married within the family. And so, you know, there is mixing and stuff like that. And it's not much of a problem because when people are either atheists or Christians, they tend to not kind of like have a clash with the other cultures. But depending on depending on
Class of civilization.
but it is about mindset as well, yeah, about are you thinking in the same way as your neighbour and people like that who want the best for the UK?
Thinking in the
And
same
there are a
way.
lot of people that are in the UK.
We don't even talk to others.
Oh, I don't talk to my neighbours. Don't try and talk to me.
But even if we did,
I talk to my neighbours, so maybe it's
I
personal
ignore
with you
them as
guys.
well. You know, I've managed to ignore them for 30 years. And let's hope I get another 30 years. I don't.
but would it be a healthy society if we sort of all think more or less like our neighbours?
No, well, when I'm talking about thinking exactly the same, I'm not.
Yes, absolutely. If you look at Greek society, you look at Roman
These
society,
are ancient societies. We're in a
you
modern
look at modern
context.
society, there is advantages.
Well, I'm sure there are
collective of
advantages.
people that think
But they're outweighed by the disadvantages.
Yeah,
what disadvantages of people for
You get into a mind think that whatever the group or this extended nation think is the best.
no, I think you've got the wrong.
Okay.
This is just think you're the wrong end of the stick here. I'm talking about people that want the best for the UK moving forward. Now we may have different views of how to get there, but if you're in this
Hopefully we
country,
do.
if you're in this country and your sole purpose is to say kind of disrupt the UK or cause issues within it,
That's another separate issue.
yeah, that's
tiny
the stuff-
minority.
that's the kind of.
I don't think what he's touching on is actually bigger. When you have a strong dominant culture,
Oh, you
and
gonna
not
go?
a, you, have,
Okay,
you
yeah,
have minority
I'll be your next.
cultures,
We'll carry on the pool.
you have
Yeah,
less
go on.
fraction because it's very clear what the dominant culture of society is. If you have lots of weak cultures and no dominant cultures, then you get into power struggles and you get into people clashing.
What is a dominant culture?
A dominant, so as an example,
You're going to say Judeo-Christianity, and I'm going to say the last
It's okay.
census showed that less than 50% of the population.
Jews are tiny, so take Judaism.
No, I'm talking culturally. Judeo-Christian, obviously, one from the other. The simple fact of the matter is under 50% of people in the census any form of Christianity as being, they may choose to get wedded, or they may choose to Christian children, but it's not central to them.
I'm sure you will accept there are places around the world where there are civil wars and there is mass ethnic conflict. There are numerous places around the world. And what tends to happen when those conflicts arise is because you don't have a powerful state.
Yeah,
that's
non-democratic societies on the whole you're describing, aren't you? You're talking about Myanmar.
You look post-Yugoslavia, you look anywhere where you have, literally, whether you're talking modern Syria or you're talking...
Yugoslavia are rather, typical,
Okay, can I just say something? The individual that's here, he had to go at 5:20, so we're going to carry that conversation over. One thing I do want to touch on now you're here, because you've had conversations with Mark Collett's already, and one of the things he's accusing, like the Tommy Robinson movement of, is that there's Zionists and that they kind of putting Israel above the UK. Now, what is your kind of take on that? Because I don't see that per se.
No, I mean...
He's not a Zionist. Or if he is a Zionist, it's simply as, a characteristic he needs is included because he thinks that would help.
In a second,
To that point, Tommy Robinson is a Christian. He's who's this one here?
Orthodox, Eastern Orthodox.
But who is
He's
that
an
one?
Orthodox Christian.
He's a Christian, yeah?
No, I'm not saying that, he's saying that, mate.
No,
Israel
Israel.
Defence
This
League.
is a picture taken of Israel.
I'm not a bigger Christian fundamentalist about the sexualisation of kids. That
Okay,
comes
you
from Jews as well.
You get back to
Oh,
your
it's the
Jew
Jews
hate.
again.
You get back to your Jew
My
hate.
chips are cold. It's the Jews.
So this is a guy who obviously believes that one picture is better than 1,000 words.
yeah, but one thing is,
That's a brilliant idea. Instead of having all this problem with words, just hold up pictures. There it is.
but one thing is,
There it is. It's like nothing's ever been photoshopped.
but one thing is,
Said Tommy Robinson, he's a Zionist.
no matter which country we are living in, right? We should get on well with each other.
We should get on well with each other.
Yes, without saying,
That's a lovely idea.
I have
but
the
it's
right
never
way.
worked.
Is that saying, we shouldn't not ban certain type of food.
You're blocking this coverage. It's working better than it has before.
I mean, we shouldn't ban any type of food, if you know what I mean. We shouldn't ban any type of food, It doesn't matter your culture or my culture.
We're a lot more tolerant society, a lot less
That's the important thing.
than we were before.
They're all Jews. They're all Jews.
Are they? I didn't research that. I just know they're from the Frankfurt school.
Yeah, you
I'm
just
not
highlighted
that's
this.
what I
Spend every evening typing Jews into Google and
saw
printing
that.
out
No,
these
I don't.
pieces of paper.
I've got better things to do than
So
that,
how
mate.
come you've
I
got a
run my own
folder?
company,
How
I run my
come
own company.
how come
I've
you've
got
got a
better things to do.
folder?
I've finished in my spare
You've got a
time.
folder full of Jewish.
All right, so this is the problem I'm seeing here.
That's
You're
what it is.
obsessed with us. I'm
No,
telling
I'm
you
not,
what, I'll
I'm
get
not.
you a photograph.
Well, you are. Look at
can
all
put
this
it on
stuff.
your wall.
Look at it all, man.
But he is a Jew. He's a
There
Jew.
must be
I'm
50
not obsessed,
There's
but
a
I'm
hundred
older.
I got all these
photocopying there,
photographs
right
of Jews.
away.
He ain't. No, he's a black geezer. He's a
quid in
nonce. He's a black
photocopying,
geezer.
is
Lil Wayne, he's a black geezer.
And then there's a
She
colourful
might be a Jew,
folder.
but she's a nonce.
Then all the coloured
He's a
bands,
nonce.
we
He's a
have
nonce.
colour
They ain't
all
Jewish. They ain't all Jews.
It's
Don't get carried away. He's a nonce.
What religion were all those other people, by the way?
Jewish. But
No,
he's
no,
a
no,
Christian.
all the ones that weren't
No,
Jewish.
we've got Jewish and Christians
They're all
and blacks
Christian.
and whites and everything.
No
Don't worry.
Muslims.
Yeah, it's a black geezer. He's a black geezer. He's a soldier. There you go. We've got it all in here. What more do you want?
It's all in there, the whole
It's all
world.
in here. It's all here. It's all here. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
That's a big photocopying bill.
Oh, I've got a lot, mate. I've got a lot.
Yeah,
I've got a lot.
When do you find time to run your
I've got a lot
business?
for you. I'm a busy man. I've got five.
It looks like it. It looks like you're very busy.
Who else do you want? Koreans, they're nonsense as well. He fiddles with his fucking kid on telly. What do
How
you want?
often do you look up? Is this something
Oi,
you look at research?
I'm in the middle of doing a documentary. When it's done, I'll let you know the details. You can watch it. Give me your opinion.
So is that your own documentary, or you've been commissioned, or?
Me and friends, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll find out. That's what it's going for.
It's probably not a
Do you like
documentary
paedophiles?
then.
That's what it's going for.
It's probably an
That's why we
opinion
want to normalise
piece.
paedophilia.
It's an opinion piece, not a documentary.
Well, that's a separate conversation.
You've got this in your folder.
where it's
It says
going.
LGBTP.
Yeah.
Well, you've got that in your
That is a
folder.
serious
This is an
topic to have.
advocate. This is an advocate for paedophilia.
Can I say, that
That's
is
a
a
Dutch gender dysphoric policeman that wants nonsense to be legal.
Look. This
Fact.
What you're saying is a serious
Fact.
topic.
Madeline Van Bergen.
got a
It's
photograph
very
of it.
serious.
It's
I agree with you, that's a serious topic.
It is, mate.
But it's not the Jews.
I never said it's the Jews. Who says the
What,
Jews?
you've got
I said
Jewish
they're
folder.
implicated. No, who says a Jewish
Is
folder?
Tommy Robinson
They're
implicated?
implicated. Someone said he might have been, anyway, I can't say on camera.
No. Is
Without
Tommy
the talk.
Robinson implicated?
In what sense?
Is he part of this paedophilia movement?
How is he? I don't know if he's a nonce.
No, but you've got him in your folder.
He ain't in my folder, he's a separate.
He's in a separate folder. What's that folder about?
I'm working it. Work in progress.
What's it about though?
The truth.
No, the truth about what though?
Truth. That's what you need to know. It's about the truth.
So Tommy
The truth
Robinson's
of that.
the truth.
That's the truth, that Prince Charles was great friends with Jimmy Savile. He weren't Jewish, he
Jimmy
was a
Savile is
nonce.
dead.
But he was a nonce, and he was very
He's
close friends with
dead.
him. That's a fact,
be
innit?
friends with a dead
That's
man?
fact. That's fact, innit? Fact.
Sorry about that, Raj.
How can you
Hey,
be friends with a
lot
dead
continue. I'll
man?
be back later when I do a video. You can join me about the sexualisation of kids and fabricated genders later. Thank you.
Okay,
Talk later.
okay, so well done.
Thank you, mate.
All right, so this is one of
Okay, then.
example of
I got to go, boys. My friends said we got to go.
you gonna go?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry about that, Raj.
That's all right, man, don't worry. So I'm gonna hold my own camera now. How dare anybody? But basically, this is a perfect example of this kind of like blaming the Jews for literally everything, and this is what's happening in the movement, the movement within the Tommy Robinson movement, where there is now this there's a fervent anti-Semitism encroaching. Right, so a lot of, can you be a Zionist and still be pro-UK? Can you be a Zionist and still be, I'm not a Zionist, but I'm asking you this question, because people are saying Tommy's a Zionist. Can you be a Zionist and pro-UK?
So I'm pro-UK.
Politicians are
and
non-Christ.
Right.
So you're against the state of Israel?
No, I'm for the state of Israel.
So you're a Zionist?
But I'm not a Zionist
No, you're
per
a
se.
Zionist.
I want a two-state solution.
Can you help?
All right.
Can you help?
Don't say that now. So I believe the Jews have a right to have the state of
That's
Israel,
basically a Zionist.
and basically so do the Palestinians.
That makes you a Zionist.
Oh no, I've got enough problems as it is. Yeah. So can you give me a little bit more of a kind of, because I know you've debated Mark Collett before.
So yeah,
What's your impressions of the
So my
guy?
impression of Mark Collett is he swims in a sewer of Nazism. Like if you look at his girlfriend, she's got a massive swastika on her chest. Like this guy was thrown out of the BMP for being too racist. So to get the photograph. And one of the things that shocked me when he came on my channel, the video was pulled, but one of the reasons
What was it called?
it was pulled because of the censorship on YouTube. So one of the issues with Mark Collett is the crowd he attracts. So I'm used to extremism from the far left, anti-Semitism from the far left. I'm used to anti-Semitism from radical Islam, and it's kind of taken our eye off the far right as a Jewish community. And I can hand on heart say, I get death threats on a weekly basis, daily basis often, and we never experience such visceral and palpable hatred as when Mark Collett came on and his droves of 15-year-old American followers. He's got no following in the UK. Almost all of his following is American. Unfortunately, the UK doesn't have any real neo-Nazi movement. They're pushed very much to the fringes. So Mark Collett isn't really that big of a concern, but they're the guys that will go crazy. They're the guys that will actually carry out violent attacks.
But
like
I mean, I don't want to.
national action.
So I don't want to. Basically, this individual to me is the opposite side of like people like Andrew Chowdhury and those kind of guys. Like they're very similar in mindset in the sense that, you know, they'll do anything within their means to get their goals, whether that's violence.
So these movements are inspired by each other. The only far-right organisation I'm aware of that's ever been prescribed under British law is a group called National Action. They actually watched the jihadis and modelled their approach and their violence on ISIS.
I mean,
they would watch ISIS
a
videos.
guy called Ralph or Jawala actually threatened National Action on me, so that's interesting. So
If he's actually like, that's quite disappointing. If Ralph has actually done that, National Action,
well, let me say
you'll get sent down. It's considered like ISIS. So if anybody has associations with National Action,
yeah, prescribed, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk to the individual here, but he's actually, you have to go at 5:20. So we'll kind of continue, but all right. So you're saying that there's being a Zionist, just basically means somebody that
supports
wants
the
the
existence
of Israel.
Somebody that doesn't want to see Israel destroyed is a Zionist. It's that simple. And we don't have a word for that for any other country because no other country faces an existential threat like that. So if you don't want the UK to be destroyed, there isn't a word to describe you as being normal. Because Israel has such an existential threat because I believe it's a Jewish state, that's why it's racist. Then there is a word to describe what people that support its existence.
So welcome to the Zionist Club.
I got enough troubles as it is. I mean, one of the things about I found quite disturbing when I went to the Al-Quds march was the fact that very moderate Muslims that I assume to be quite reasonable was saying stuff like, no, there's no way there could be a Jewish state. It's either all or nothing. We're going to push them out, and it's either our way or the other way. And that's one thing I don't
one
understand.
of the most beautiful things that's happening in the Arab world, UK Muslims are disconnected from the wider community. They're a little bit behind. The United Arab Emirates just sent out a Hanukkah message to the Jewish community.
All right.
Now that takes something that Israel is in conversations with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman. They literally
Was that from the religious parties or from the royal family?
from the government. Okay. I think they're all interconnected.
Must be mud cullies.
But all I'm saying is
People know
that
what mud cullies is.
the times are changing, and these guys in the park are a little bit behind. So they're screaming death to Israel, death to Israel, death to
Well,
Israel.
one of the things
but
is,
the times are changing.
you know, obviously we're going to talk about Raspek because Raspek has made a
We
lot.
have to.
Well, we have to because he's been in a lot of live streams about Israel being a racist state who oppresses, and it's an ethno state in the sense that they will only let Ashkenazi Jews in. So you clarify that.
The majority of Israeli Jews are brown skinned, not light skinned brothers like me. 20% of the population are not Jewish. It has a larger minority population than the UK. And then let's flip that on the other side. The Palestinian Authority, there is not one Jewish citizen. The Palestinian Authority denies citizenship to Jews. In contrast, 20% of Israelis, or over 20% are Arabs, and over 20% are non-Jewish.
But there is racism towards black Jews, though.
No. Like,
Is
there's
it? No,
racism.
I've seen
There's
it
racism
myself.
in every society. There is racism in the UK. There is racism in Israel. There is racism in Saudi Arabia, and there's racism in Australia. Wherever you go, you will find racism. However, Israel actually saved thousands and thousands and thousands of Ethiopian Jews from crowd. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of black Jews in Israel, and there's many.
Do you know what the immigration policy of Israel is?
Yeah.
Who can come into Israel? And
Anyone can come in, but it's much easier to come in if you're Jewish because it's set up as a place of refuge.
But it doesn't matter about race, though.
No, it's not.
All right, this is
the
one.
majority of Jews in Israel aren't Ashkenazi.
All right. So this is one of the arguments
Jews
we
are white.
made over the last couple of days, that the Jewish state, to immigrate there, you must show your lineage as a European Jew.
No, this is just nonsense what uneducated people spout on Google Hangouts. And those people that spend 8 hours a day on Google Hangouts, get off, read a book, educate yourself. You're wasting your life.
I need to get off there as well. Anyway, man, I'm going to kind of wrap it up now, but I'm going to do the conversation with him next week. You have to go. I think he got shook and ran off when he saw you because of the Jewish situation. I don't know what was going on. So we'll wrap this up, yeah. So thanks for talking anyway. I don't know if you wanted to jump in or you.
Peace in the Middle East.
Yeah, peace
and
in the Middle East.
Corner.
Yeah, anyway, man. Take care. Anyway,
Good stuff, man.
Oh, it's we.